I'm Katrina, and this is Sow and Tare. And this past weekend, we had a lot of rain. There was flooding, there were landslides, and basically everybody got a automatic message that said to shelter in place because of all of the rain and flooding and landslides. It was quite the trip. As I've said before, I wanted to live in a place with more water. Be careful what you ask for. This is a place with water. And this is a year that lots of water has come here. So it has rained and rained and rained, big storms and all of that. So we had basically a 2-day event. It rained before as well, but 2 big day event. The first day, the 24-hour rainfall. As you guys know, I do report the rain from my house with Kokoros, and I'll put a link up here if you want to be involved in that and learn how to be a weather reporter for them. That is great. It's Community Collaborative Rain, Hail, and Snow Network, and they do really good things. So citizen science is important, especially in these large storm events, especially at this time when weather balloons are being reduced and stuff like that. So having on the ground real data is important. So the first day, the 24-hour precipitation was 3.56 inches. Let me say that again. 3.56 inches of rain in 24 hours. Now, that is not normal here. That is abnormal here. And talking with a neighbor that has been here since '73, this is the most rain she's seen come down at once. Second most flooding she's seen. The other flooding, I think more snow melt was involved. And I went around before the flooding got to its max. We drove around and went to a couple creek crossings, check on things, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff that was not accessible anymore. And found out from another neighbor that between here and the town to the north, all of Interstate 5 was completely water was going across all 4 lanes on Interstate 5 going north. And then I went south yesterday, and there was still water going across all the lanes on I-5 south of here. So there's landslides that you could see and all of that, but I was driving with that one, so I didn't record that. But I did record some of my drive with a neighbor, just kind of short clips of the flooded areas. And this hit our community pretty hard. It hit our community hard enough that the city is looking at trying to get FEMA funding to support recovery efforts. There's people's houses that were completely yeah, that were completely affected. And I don't know about any bridges that might have gone out. The main bridges were fine, but there may have been smaller bridges on other roads and stuff that I'm unaware of. I know there were a lot of landslides, so those roads need to be cleared, and then the hillside. When a landslide happens, a whole lot of stuff have to happen to recover from that. If it's a small one, they generally just kind of push off the side of the road and it's all good. But if it's a larger one, there needs to be some geotechnical work on those. So I don't know what the extent is with that. I just know there was a lot of landslides reported on in the area. So this affected a lot of people. For myself, it didn't affect me as much as a lot of people. I probably got water underneath the house, but actually not nearly to extent that it happened last time we had a lot of rain. Last time we had a lot of rain, we did not have this much rain. I'll put a video here. You can see what I did. I dug some trenches. There's artesian springs that pop up. Those came up again. And then in addition to that, it was going overland. So the water was coming all the way down from the hillside. Oh, there's a video that explains that, the clip. And it was coming down overland as well. Last time it wasn't coming overland. It was coming through the earth. So I did have to kind of reroute. There's a runoff that goes down my private road and into the creek, and that had been blocked from leaves, so I had to shovel out the leaves. And then where it was going was continuing down the road that's actually blocked off right now. And so I had to redirect that part, kind of dig up a little bit of the road. So that's fine now. I avoided severe effects to my road, which is good. Now further up on the property, I do have a high tension power line that crosses the property, and the power company's access road is there. I did call several months ago and tell them that, hey, this has erosion. You guys are gonna have to come out here, and I recommend you come out here and dig a culvert and put that in. And apparently that got nowhere. I left a message, nobody called, it didn't even get written down anywhere. But I did end up contacting them, and this last storm before, it got carved out 5 feet down. So that 1 foot problem that was just really like a pothole kind of situation. You can drive over it, but you really should put in a culvert. Now it's not passable. So they just cost themselves money because it's about 50 feet from my southern border. I don't need that road. I don't need to drive on that road. I don't have permission to drive on the other side of that fence. So if they want it fixed, they're going to have to fix it. And what's interesting is the easement for that power line is 100 feet wide, and I don't think the access for the easement is included in the easement. I think it's further out. Which I don't even know how that works, but hey, the easement happened in 1930. The previous landowner was paid $1 for it, which may have been the going rate for that much land at the time. But anyway, so I did go up there. I'll show you guys. It looks like a waterfall there where there wasn't one before. I do have a waterfall as well, and that is tremendous. But where the waterfall where there wasn't before, and it has cut both of the where the tires go, and so not just the one that's already 5 foot drop. The other one has dropped down some. I don't know how much, and I'm sure that 5 foot drop is much more, just given the amount of water that's going through and the force of that water. I did put my foot in on the other track. The water was only about that deep there, but I didn't put full weight. I was just feeling it. Wasn't in a real dangerous situation or anything. And that could have knocked you off your feet if you were not paying attention. And so there was a lot of water with a lot of force. I now have an alluvial fan down in my pasture from the seasonal creek that is between my property and the next person's house. That's the closest. And talking with the neighbor who has been here a while, she said that creek used to be permanent, and at some point it became a seasonal creek. So the culverts are there to support an actual good size small creek, good size flow. And so that did not go outside the bounds of the culvert. All the culverts seem to be fine. It's just the one place up on the power line road that doesn't have a culvert. I'll go up there. The water's starting to recede. I'll probably go up there tomorrow or the next day and take a look at it. So that'll go in a different video, probably a weekend review video. And it's an amazing force water is. Yeah. So my French drain that I keep on talking about to go behind the house, it's going to be way, way overbuilt. I'm going to be ridiculous about it. And, you want to protect your property. So I know there's only hill behind my house. So there's water comes down. So it's going to come towards my house. So I might as well plan big and hope for not that big. Yeah, so I just want to kind of have that little intro, a big intro. Oh my gosh, more than 10 minutes. Sorry, guys. But I want to give you guys that perspective, that intro. I heard about someone's dog that went missing, and then they found it. Like during the storm, it was missing, and then it came back. I'm sure there were, there were likely losses. I don't know what they were. I have not been into town since this happened, this town. But I know there's a lot of devastation. I've seen some videos and a lot of devastation. So I'm okay. My property's okay. My issues were minor compared to what people experienced. But here are, I don't know how coherent it's going to be one clip to the next, but I'll try and describe it if it's not fully evident from the information. So enjoy, give us good thoughts over here, and I don't know whether FEMA's going to respond positively or not, but I hope they do. So here we go. Thursday, the snow line was coming down. It was not at the property yet. This was not part of the flooding yet, but gives you an idea of temperature. On Thursday, preceding the storm, we got just over an inch for the 24 hours, so there was already saturation started in the soil. Friday morning, we started the morning with about 2 inches of super, super, super wet snow. It snowed a little bit after I took the measurement, but not very much. So it probably wasn't even 2.5 inches of snow. When I was shoveling the driveway, it actually was basically shoveling slush at the end of it. So this was part of what was to be the issue. The rain started from here and continued the rest of forever, it seemed, the rest of the day. So I believe it was Thursday, the gutter person came out and actually did this sideways gutter per my request, so water would flow, kind of make sure it gets around the corner and so it can go, because the back of the house is pretty flat. And so you can see this is starting to hold water that's not from the actual gutter. The gutter wasn't leaking or anything. It was from the hillside. Hi, mister. What do you think of all this? Yeah, you can come closer. Is it too much? Too much activity? Yeah, you can come closer. I know, there's bunnies in there. What do you think? You came out here in the rain to say hi to the bunnies? So making sure all the animals are taken care of before rain really hit was important. Making sure, everybody's out of the flood areas and all that. So that happened. We're good. You could say it's a bit windy. Well, all the bunnies are crammed in the corner. Why are you guys in the corner that doesn't have the rain protection? Huh? So Friday it rained a lot, but it really picked up at night. So it rained through the night super heavy, and that's when you got most of the rain. Well, that's a lot. So when it snowed the other day, I put in the tube, but I forgot to put the funnel in. So that's at least 3 inches, maybe 4, because the inner one is not full. Let's find out. And man, look at all that flooding in the pasture. Look at all that flooding. 3.56. That is a lot of rain. And probably the most I have had in my rain cage for sure. Well, things are flowing. We confirmed that downspout worked yesterday, and that is flowing so much. But look at that. We have a river flowing there.
I was up all night with the rain. It was torrential, and I thought several times that I should actually go out and check on things. I didn't. I thought, hey, the trenches I did already would hold. We'll see.
Look at this. We have puddles up here. So I'm on top here. This is what I was trying to show you guys before. But, look at that. Completely covers my foot. We're on top of a hill. That means all this entire hill. Look at this. It's even flowing down from here, from the top, all the way down. So I need to increase my berm, because things are flowing. It's just flowing too much. Look at this. This is on the side of the hill. This is not a waterfall. Look, this is on the side of the hill. And look at that. Not quite as deep as it was when I had all my pumping going, but it's getting there. I'm sure it needs to get away from the house for sure. Look at this. It's on top of there. It is flowing that way, which is good. And it is flowing that way, which is good. So my trenches are working, specifically this way. So anything coming out of the ground here is going that way, which is good. I just need to increase these mounds here, I think. And look, you can't even see that there's a mound there. Well, I guess I know what I'm doing today. I'll get those mounds. Now that I understand the water flow, it's a lot better. And once I get those mounds up, I'll pump what's next to the house. And I just need to make major mounds because we're getting, well, we were only supposed to get 1 to 2 inches yesterday overnight, and we got 3.56. So I'm gonna plan for another, 4 inches. It's already, there. And look at this. That is just rushing. And those are where it came out of the ground before, but it's actually blocked, from this retaining wall here. And that's just a lot of water coming off the hill. It's flowing off the hill. There's puddles above. It's gushing. And I think I just need to close that gap. That gap was to go out, but now it's going in. This part's working though. Yeah, that's what we call a gusher. Look at that. That's the fastest I've seen it go out, that pipe. Look at that. Well, the whole hayfield is flooded. I've not seen it that flooded yet, so that's good to know. But the water is so much. Bunnies are doing good. Look at all that water. And you'll wonder why that culvert's that big? Wow, I've never seen that much flow. Look how fast it's going.
This is the seasonal creek that used to be perennial, and it is the one that left alluvium in my pasture.
I don't know if it's really conveying how fast that water is going on this video. It's gushing out. Well, no need to wonder where that water goes anymore. It's making its own channel. Don't know if you guys can see that on the video through the trees, but It's making its own channel right there and going downhill. And that's that pond. A little bigger. And look at that flow. Let me zoom in. Look at that flow in the hayfield. It's flowing so fast. I can actually see the creek from here. I think that's the first time I've actually been able to see the creek. Oh yeah, gigantic puddles. Well, at least it's getting watered well. Alright, so the water is actually coming from all the way up here, all the way up the hill. Don't know how far up. Down here, goes underground in places, comes out. This is the fire pit. Think it's gonna work? And yeah, this is the top of my little hill here. Turn around, this is all water. And where I was like, there should be stairs here to get down. It's a waterfall. But not only that, it's going over here too. It's just a humongous, humongous amount of water. Now the trenches I did dig work. They worked well. This one's working very well. That's not flowing as much as this, because it is not soaked into the ground as well. So we have a lot of overland flowing and the ground is saturated, but it's not as saturated as it was when that was an issue. I'm sure after today's rain it's going to go up and all that. So any rain we get after this point is going to just add to the saturation and then make that worse. But, oh yeah, and the rain jacket I've been using as a rain jacket that is apparently water repellent, not waterproof. I'm soaked, so I just took it off. No sense in wearing it. Now I'm using the plug-in transfer pump. It's underneath that black thing, and it's working about. So if you guys saw the video I did about using the Ryobi transfer pump, the battery operated one, I'll put a link here in the corner. This one is a plug-in one. I got it after the battery operated one, just because I'm like, I don't want to go out and change batteries all the time. This one has the option to have a battery, so it's a hybrid, and it's working pretty well. It had an issue on the outlet. The thread was like cut, like it wasn't a full thread, and so I used Teflon tape, and there's a little leak on that side, but it's working. So that's drawing down. It's actually doing quite a good job. It's going to be done here in a minute. I mean, it's not going to get rid of all the water, but there you go. Anyway, so that was okay. The trench I dug going like right there, that was going over that berm, so it was not high enough, so I fixed that. And once that is done, that little area is done drawing down, I'm going to stick it in that bucket over there just to help with the flow. So the flow of that goes around the house and then into a culvert into the ditch within the road. And so I'll show you what that looks like. It's super full. So yes, I still have the gutter stuff there. Yes, I still have plans. No, I haven't done them yet. Gutters are working great. But we can see this is getting more and more, and it's actually going over the pipes, but it's not yet going over land. So, and if it does go over land, it's not going to damage anything except for maybe right near the driveway. But let's walk down. I can see the creek from the house, which is ridiculous. I talked to the neighbors, and this is the most rain they've ever seen, the highest they've seen the creek at all. So yeah, but that's a lot of water coming out, and A lot of water going into the culvert that goes under the driveway. It's working though. Everything's working. This is across the driveway. Flowing really well. Grass is growing back from last time I weed whacked. Probably should do that again. So I still have all this here. I haven't moved it, but that's okay. But that is flowing. Look at that. We're going to do this in reverse because apparently I forgot to press record. So, this water is coming from, so before the highest it got is right here and it's coming out of the road. But it's now higher than that and it's coming out somewhere over here. I don't know if it's going overland under the leaves. I think it is. And coming out here. And then this side, where is it coming from? Yeah, it looks like it's just coming from flow off the road here. And that way. And we'll go in reverse and show you what a mess it's making. So this is a road, not a stream. And here is the seasonal creek. Take a look at how quick that is. You would not want to get swept into that culvert. You totally could too. It's a big culvert for a reason. I'll have to go up later today on the other culvert that this is on and see how that looks. So again, this is not the creek, this is the road. But my little dam of leaves I made last time looks like it's still working. It scoured out other stuff so it doesn't go towards there. But instead of going over to the creek where it used to go, so it used to go that way into the creek, it's now going down the road. So I need to redirect. I'll do that after I do stuff at the house. Alright, I connected this puddle to that trench. Hopefully this doesn't get higher. I'm going to have to keep an eye on that. Had to put another piece of garbage there because the same thing happened over there as it just started shooting into some sort of burrow. And this side I think I have pretty well figured out. The level's actually gone down on the right hand side, which is good. It's still high. I mean, that bucket right there is the same size as that bucket right there. I mean, I dug it down, that's where I would pump from. But I'm going to pump this part now. I don't think I'm going to start with this one. This is where the head is here. I just left the head in here. I think I'm going to start with this one. Because this is already kind of starting to dry. I don't know if dry is the right word. It's probably soaking under the house, but it's soaking. It's shallow. So that's the plan. This is flowing good. I definitely need a French drain with appropriate angle because that sits there until it flows. So I'm going to get started over here. That's not a stream, but it thinks it is. That trench is working. That's going to the other trench. I finally got this berm high enough. But this is working too. But French drain needs to be enough to carry this much flow. This is a lot of flow. Alright, crisis averted. This is all flowing down the road. I've made this berm a little bigger. And what was blocking over here was leaves. So I got the leaves out, now it's going in there. Still a trickle going this way. But man, that's all coming off the road. This is what got scoured out in the meantime. So it definitely did some erosion. This is actually a road, it just hasn't been used in a while. But yeah, eroded all of that. Happened during this. And look at that. Yay for seasonal creeks. Wow, so how many people are past this road?
So he said there was like 7 or 8 different properties past that. So those people were trapped for the day, it looks like.
You wouldn't even be able to see there's a stream there if that barrier wasn't there. Look at that. There's that's like a pallet.
Much water as I've ever seen there.
Yeah. Debris in the road, huh?
Yeah.
Man.
As soon as we got back to my driveway, that's when all of our phones went off and this alert came up to shelter in place.
Water, water, water. So that's usually dry, seasonal. I just learned from the neighbor that this used to be running full time and it wasn't seasonal. It used to run all year round. And she moved here in 1973. But right now it's a seasonal creek. And the pasture has water. The heath field has a new river. Look at this. Oh, there's even a little shelf here at the gate, or at the fence. Little dam thing. Must have had grasses and leaves and stuff up against it. It's like a foot difference. So, here's the new creek. So that same neighbor says that she's seen it where the water is all the way from the creek all the way to the hill over here. Wow. Well, the pond is full and there's water, and that's not even going into the pond. The pond is being fed by that little tiny waterfall thing there, which is groundwater that has seeped through. It looks like there is also maybe some runoff from the road too. We'll see what that little thing is. That is the well overflow plus along the other side of the road. And it looks like it has carved its own channel. There is some water flowing past this pear tree, but most of it, squishy squish through here, most of it goes underneath this ash tree here. Kind of spreads out a little bit and then continues around and down. To the bathtub, which is a trough. And it looks like this goes down to that huge pooling over there. So my thoughts about the flow were correct, and I think it actually made new flow. Look at that, we have buds, flower buds.
The next clip is back behind the house again.
Well, I found the little spring that's bubbling up. That is what's going all down the hill. There's probably several of them. Okay, so this is the road And those look like regular like tire tracks. Wonder if the power people did come or if this is from water. It might just be from water. Like, see how that works? That's just pine needles.
Correction, Douglas fir needle.
But it makes a dam. Now, this is coming down the road. And it looks like it's filling up this puddle and then going over and down to the house. So this is actually from quite a bit of land that ends up at the house.
And now for a hike up the hill.
Wow, I can see the water rushing there. I bet the waterfall is tremendously flowing. Look at that, going down the hillside. It's rumbling. Alright, we'll do this side, then we'll turn around for the waterfall. Wow, it's like a real waterfall. Oh, the bucket fell over. Look at that. Wow. My waterfall got bigger with the rain. Look at that. It's huge. Flooding in Douglas County. Yeah, there's going to be some washed out areas here. Well, that's fairly fresh. Look at that. Who's ready to see the road cut? I already see there's an issue. I don't know if road cut is the right word. The erosional feature that has cut in at least 5 feet from previous storms. It was at about 1 foot when I told the Pacific Power there was an issue and nobody answered me. There's now a order number, work number, I don't know what the thing is, but there's a number now associated with it where they're actually going to look at it because it's their access road for the power line. Let's go find out. I see a waterfall. Wow, that's tons of strawberries. Very cool. So, it's a raging waterfall now. Look at that. So for reference, this is where the tire track is. Right there. That's not happening. But look at this. Torrent of water. And I did find out this right here, this tree is a native maple. It looks like a Japanese maple, but it's native. And look at that, go all the way down the hill. So I believe this is where Maggie Lake is. You guys can confirm, but the road is gone. Coming back, there's another poopsie poop. There's the other one that I saw. Alright, so this water comes from up this road. Yeah, that's a road. It's cut out. The cut gets steeper as you go up, but more water. And it looks like this is definitely being affected by water. Little channel. This is where I think there was road issues that got repaired, maybe not quite packaged as well as it should have. Yeah, there's the line. And it is rutted quite deeply now. It was before. But again, I think this was repaired and not packed correctly at some point. And it just gets more and more mucky. Yeah, I get down here. It's hard to tell this is a road, really. I mean, it's scoured out all the way down. Alright, so this is that seasonal stream that goes between my house and the neighbor's house. And it is rushing pretty good. It widens out here. And it's a pretty good sized culvert. It looks like it's working. You guys watched earlier, that's the culvert Ringo went through. Look at that. Look at that.
Bucket of rain.
It's sunny and also raining. Oh my gosh, I hear so much water.
All right, we are in Monday.
Well, it's clear, but it's flowing from the hillside, no longer going down on top of the hillside. So that means it's soaking through. All right, it's the day after the rain. We got over 5.5 inches in 2 days. So here's what the seasonal stream looks like in the pasture. I was told by a neighbor this used to be a permanent stream, but it dried up. So now it is seasonal. Little waterfall there. Goes past these oaks and the ashes. Man, it scoured out a bunch. Look at that. Oh. Huh. There is a little teapot or something. I'll have to look at that once it calms down. That's definitely a good flow. It was flowing much more than this yesterday. Look at this. Look how much it scoured out. There's another green thing. I wonder if that belongs to the other part. Looks like it went that way. Most of it. Do we have any tracks? Most of it looks like it turns. There is a ditch right on my side of the fence here that goes to the creek. But look at this. It scoured out all the way over here. It put those sticks there. Look at this. Oh my goodness, it's down to rock. We brought rocks down. My goodness. Well, lots of silt deposit, that's for sure. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. That's a regular alluvial fan right there. So this splits. It continues this way and becomes kind of like another secondary stream that runs through the hayfield all the way through the property. And then what goes against the fence goes directly into Windy Creek right there. It is squishy here. So yeah, that's goes from over there and flows. And that goes all the way south to the other end of the property. So that's a lot of water. And it's interesting because it's so much water that this flow, which has happened a couple times this year already, isn't on any waters map. So unless the person I bought it from told me, which he did, that there was some water that flows in the pasture down here in the winter, which he didn't say how much, but he did say it does flow. I wouldn't have known. There wouldn't have been any other indicator. Now, this whole hayfield has flooded, and some of it's receded into the stream, the flow of it. I don't know what to call it. It's not a channel, but it has gone into there, and I still don't know the grasses. I need to get someone out here who knows the grasses and can teach me them, and teach me, what they are and nutrition wise for the animals. But if I need to supplement this area with some sort of other forage or other grasses, I need to know for sure that they are water hardy, because this is what we're getting. Well, I hope you enjoyed seeing all of that water, and I hope you are planning for whatever natural disasters are in your area. And if you're planning for it, if you're spending money for that plan, you might as well overplan. Overplan, plan for the worst, hope for the best, and that is a good thing to live by as long as you don't live in fear. So be prepared so you don't have that fear. A lot of people have these natural disasters and they end up living in that fear, and that's something we have the capability to take a situation, internalize it, understand it, plan for another situation or a similar situation, so if it were to happen again, you are okay. And in my case, if I hadn't had that big storm before this one a couple months ago, and I didn't already know that stuff comes out of the hillside and all of that, and I didn't have the trenches dug and all of that, I would have been a little bit more panicky. As it stood, I only had to pump a little bit, and I knew where the water was coming from, which is helpful. It didn't just show up like before, and that was really, really helpful. So take a look at your own situation and where you live and what your natural disasters are. I did not really plan for flood when I got here because I'm out of all the FEMA flood maps. I'm out of, it doesn't even, the creek here doesn't even have a FEMA flood zone. There's definitely another creek in the hayfield now. Basically an alternative creek. And so I was thinking, okay, well, fire is my natural disaster that I need to plan for, which I still need to plan for, and I still need to do things for. The first of which I did was put on metal roof. But flooding was not something I thought was... it wasn't something I thought I was susceptible to. I thought, hey, I'm far enough away from the creek. I'm far enough elevated from the creek. I did not account for springs randomly popping up in the hill behind my house or overland flow from the giant hill behind me. I should have at least thought about that and probably would have dismissed it. Maybe not the springs, but the other part. I probably would have dismissed it and said, well, no, that's not going to happen. There's too many areas that it can seep in and all that. And that would have been an incorrect assessment, but at least I would have thought of it. So I challenge you, you have homework, to look at what your situation is, make an assessment, and make an action plan, take action. Even if it's know where my shovel is and have a transfer pump. That's an action plan. Now, if you're right on the creek, you might want to have a better action plan. But if you're upland and you're off of a creek, up off of it, and you're not thinking that's going to be an issue, having a shovel, knowing where it is, and having a transfer pump, knowing where that is, those are good things to do. It's similar to having a generator. Not everybody does. Not everybody will need to. You can live without it. You may never need it, but you have it just in case, and it's a good thing to have. So anyway, I hope you found this useful, and I hope we didn't get bored of me talking. Thank you for watching. We do homesteading stuff on this channel. I know this one's all about the water, but we do homesteading stuff on this channel. We do cooking, baking, food preservation, animals, plants, garden, food forest, all that stuff. So if you're interested in any of those, or just want to see this part of the world, Pacific Northwest, Douglas County, Oregon, if you want to see my progress on here, go ahead and hit subscribe and click the bell notification, select all, so you get all of the content, and like the video, share it around. So thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day.